Stop. Stop. How did this happen? It's just too much for one episode. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaylee and I'm back today to wrap up season 2 of Fruits Basket. Season 1 was amazing. It was just like dumping you into this world, giving you all these new characters, kind of introducing that underlying plot of the curse and the zodiac and all of that. But season 2 is so rich in storytelling. There's so many layers to the plot that we didn't know in season 1. So I've really been enjoying every episode this season. I will be doing a season 2 recap similar to what I did for season 1. So be on the lookout for that after this video goes up. Last video, we had the preparation and then the episode of the performance for Cinderella-ish. We also had Yuki even furthering his understanding of what those feelings are that he has for Tohru. But also I feel like the theme of the last 2 episodes were really like these unspoken feelings and emotions. You had Tohru kind of almost bursting out in the middle of Cinderella-ish to tell Kyo that she doesn't want him to keep hiding his feelings. You have Kyo who is hiding his feelings and really not progressing things with Tohru because he is worried about confinement. He's worried about breaking her heart. He's worried about hurting her when he knows that he might not be able to be by her side for the rest of her life. Then you have Yuki getting clearly frustrated kind of on Toru's behalf that Kyo isn't stepping up to spend the last time that he has with Tohru in a more meaningful way. You also have this information that's kind of yet to be revealed about how Kyo knew Kyoko, why Kyoko was holding the hat in the first place, just how that even came to be and what this like weird trauma is that is attached to it, because it seems like it's something that he does not want to think about, does not want to come out, does not want to have to talk about, despite knowing how much Tohru loved and cared for her mother and misses her. So yeah, it just seems like everyone has their own worries and trauma and narrative and anxieties that they're working through in their own heads, and they're not really being said out loud or discussed. And it's causing these kind of miscommunications and these issues where it feels a little bit stagnant on the surface because they're not able to progress forward when they don't communicate these things. Obviously, our girl Tohru is out to break the curse, so hopefully we get somewhere with that, because I can't take any more of Kyo holding back. Like I just need us to get past the curse, right? So Kyo can actually express his feelings and get what he wants out of life and stop being so fearful of what his future holds. If you want to stick around, go ahead and hit subscribe. The uncut version of this reaction will be over on Patreon, so I'll put that link in the description box below if you want to check that out. And now let's jump into the episodes. Oh God, we're back with this. Oh, this is her perspective. Okay. Maybe they are perfect for each other, you know? For real, this kid is such a downer. Oh, are they gonna have a little outing? She's like, I'm leaving. Oh my God. Trying to scheme a date is crazy. I also like her much better when she's just like her regular self. No, don't close yourself off. Although, you know what? It does feel like she is someone who has just not been asked her opinion a lot. So her thinking of herself as a void is probably just because no one has valued her voice enough for her to feel like it matters. And so she probably doesn't think she has a lot of good opinions or thoughts on her own. I feel like he can probably relate a lot to that with some of his trauma that he's experienced. So maybe they can be, I don't know, helpful with each other to help like grow out of some of that. Wow. So I feel like that definitely might be like a translation thing, because when I think of airheaded, that's just not like, that term doesn't encapsulate, I think, what they're referring to with Yuki. because I think I was confused when she first said it as well, of like, I think it's more so that he might not interact with people the same way other like kids in high school do, or the social cues just aren't quite the same, which would make a ton of sense for him and his character. But to me, that like that's not the same thing as being like airheaded. So I think that might be just a translation disconnect.
マチ、携帯持ってなかったよね。渡しておくから。これ。
人でごった返してたら倒れちゃうもんな。
そうなんだよ。お育ちがよろしいもんだからさ。
I love how like lighthearted he is now that he's got a friend he can actually mess around with. It's just, I feel like he's grown up, you know? Like we've raised him over these last 2 seasons. Is this her mom?
特に変わりはない。お友達できた？かけるくんは元気？仲良くしてる？あんな子に負けちゃダメ。どれ一つこぼしちゃダメ。完璧に。つまらない子で近寄らないで。私が悪いみたいじゃない。私がつまらないのは本当のことだ。好きな色も好きな場所も知らない。考えたこともない。ただ望みに応えようと必死になって。
Like we said in past episodes, it does feel like she is very observant of Yuki and sees him a lot more clearly than a lot of people do in school, right? Because they're looking at what he is like presenting on the surface and this mask that he's wearing. And she seems to see him a lot more deeply in terms of how he's actually feeling, right? Like what's behind the eyes. And so I wonder if she was drawn to observe him because she felt like they were very similar in a lot of ways. And I think now seeing him brighten up, I wonder if that will maybe inspire her to think more of herself and to try to expand. Oh, you guys, I need to stop pausing and just watch the show.
王子はモテモテだから王子なんだよ。孤独には会えないだろうね。でも心細そう。でも今は 心から楽しそうに笑っている。
Yeah, see, she like really knows him.
あの人は変わっていっているんだ。きっと。マッチは変わらないわね。私の存在はうつろで。
Oh no.
何もない。
The negative self-talk is so upsetting and stressful. Like, yeah, there's so many parallels to her and Yuki when you think back to like Yuki's Akito era of just being told day in and day out that he's pitch black or needs to be pitch black in this pitch black world. And I think obviously there's a parallel between that and what she's considering a void. And so it's like tough because I want her to like be pulled out of this, but is Yuki the person that can pull her out of this? I don't know, because like he just got out of this. Like it's so new and recent and it took so much and it took a whole nother person to really help pull him out. So maybe he can be that person for her, but I see so many parallels between their characters.
Oh. マチがいた。
拾ってくれなくて結構です。自分で。
マチ、これって俺がお土産で渡したもみじ？
返して。
あ、違うもみじだった？
違います。違わないこともない。
どっち？
別に深い意味なんかないです。
That's really sweet though.
捨てるのもなんだと思う。
だって大切にしてくれてたから。嬉しい。
Okay, maybe he is the person. Maybe he's the perfect person for this.
だってでもしおりに
何やってんのか聞くべきか聞かざるべきか。
聞け。あえて聞け。
何やってんの？
At least ask is hilarious.
これユンユンが土産でやったもみじ。
違う。こともない。
どっち？へえ。マチはもみじが好きなのか。
変な人。
でもそっか。
Wait, I love seeing them out of uniform. Like, Kakaru looks so sweet and fun. And I just love how he's kind of like wingmanning the situation, sort of, even though He probably doesn't know.
なんかお前師匠のとこに嫁に来たみたいです。
Oh my
わかってるよ、
goodness.
冗談だよ。
I love this. What a perfect place for her to go. I'm assuming they're going back for New Year's. Would Kyo go? Because like traditionally he would not go, but I lied because he was planning to go in the first season, so maybe he would go.
記念なそういうこと勝手に。
Wait, is Kazuma talking to Saki? No.
なんか振り向きざま人に当たりそうだな。そういえばさ、本家に帰ろうと思う。おやま。一晩だけ。元旦の夜には戻るつもりだけど。どうしたの、ユキ君、頭でも打った？
He's so mature and grown, and like he's so at peace now, and I love it. And he's just like, yeah, I guess I'll go. Like, who is he? This is so exciting.
せっかく帰るんなら、二人きりにさせるのは。
What?
けだもの。殺す。
Stop.
けだもの。
This is crazy.
二人まとめて殺す。
入るよ。いすず。
Oh my god, they're gonna become best friends. Oh no.
おる、後先考えないで突っ込んでいくなよ。
今日は睨み合いしないんだね。
しねえよ、そんな。
昔は
Oh
50分平気で
no.
睨み合っていたのにね。
That's so funny because I could so see that happening. Like, their storylines have really not overlapped at all since we've been introduced to Rin, obviously. Like, we've seen her storyline overlap a little bit with like Yuki, but not with Kyo. But I can totally imagine with their personalities, them just doing like 15-minute stare downs. Amazing. I'm also obsessed that she's here. I feel like Toru's gonna love that. I feel like obviously they've got to band together. This is where we get some work done. Let's do some research. Let's try to figure out the curse thing while we're here and we have time, you know? We might have like quite a light New Year's at the
仲
Soma
が悪い
estate.
わけではないんです。仲が良くない。宴に参加したくなかったらしく。
Yeah,
ど
that
こか
makes
へ行
sense.
こうとしてい
Look
る
at
風
that
でしたの
fit
で
she's
声
throwing.
を
Oh
か
my
けたんです。
god. That's why her and Haru are perfect for each other.
鳥さん、鳥兄さん、お疲れ様です。抱かれたいで。
Mm.
これ以上やるせない気持ちにさせないでくれ。昨日重たい。
I wish we got to see the dance. I would love that.
次の年も担当だけどね。次はこの僕とさ。
Oh. Why do I feel like we won't see that? But I would love to. Oh man.
くだらない。そんなことであいつを振り回よりを戻したのか。
Oh.
大丈夫。
Amazing, because number one, I guess he still doesn't really know. He knows that Shigure was like kind of messing around with the bookstore thing, but he doesn't know why he was doing it. Like, he probably thinks he was just trying to mess with Mayu, but like he was very concerned. He was like, wait, did you guys get back together? Because like I'm trying to get in there.
羽鳥はユキに負い目があるから余計にか。
Shigure is such an asshole.
わーい。嘘ないの？いや。
だから僕は君を許してあげる。これからはもっと会いにおいでよ。
He was really brave coming here, but how will he handle this?
アキトを許すよ。
Oh, okay.
違うな。思い通りにならないことを。アキトや母さんや今日のせいにするのはもう嫌だ。何かのせいにしてたらいつまで経っても変われない。
This is stripping away Akito's power, like completely over him.
何その目。いや、行かないで。
Wait. What was that? What was that? Hang on.
何その
Oh,
目。
Akito is very worried.
いや、
Who is this? Is that Kureno? Oh.
ayame。
Oh my god. For what? What are we apologizing for?
だが案ずることはない。僕 いいからさっさと連れてこい。
了解だ鳥さん。死んではいけないユ
Oh my
死ぬ時は一緒だと。
Ayame with the comedic relief always.
ごめん、
ユキ
君のところへ。俺は決して帰らない。
Oh my god. Okay. I wonder if the look in Yuki's eyes is making Akito nervous because now Akito sees that he doesn't have any power over Yuki, right? Like Yuki deciding not to blame anyone but himself, while I would argue that there's so many things he does not and should not take the blame for. However, it's such the right way to look at it because now Akito holds no power over him, right? Because if he is not the person to blame, then he essentially is nothing, right? It's kind of like the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. That is kind of the mentality if you strip away the power that this person holds over you. And so I wonder if it has anything to do with maybe like a curse thing. Like if you take away that power from the person, the head of the zodiac, and don't let them control you or don't feel that connection to them, or make the decision, like the solidified decision, I will never return to your side. I wonder if that helps break the curse. I'm very hopeful. Like this show has to end, they break the curse, right? Like that has to happen.
アキトに何を言ったんだ。え、別にただ誰かのせいにするのはって。あ、俺羽鳥にも謝らないといけなかった。子供の頃のこと、心のどこかで羽鳥を責めてたかもしれない。ずっと傷ついてたのに。
Wow.
俺のことはいい。
I really love that for Hattori because I feel like he held on to that guilt for so long. Oh my
兄
gosh.
には似るなよ。
似ないよ。
呼んだかい。そして治療は完了したかい。
はーくん、カズマ殿のとこのリンちゃんに会いに。
先生こそ秋人のとこ行かないの？
別にいっつも僕がフォローに行くこともないでしょ。
All
そ
right.
んな気分じゃないし。
あるよね。
Some cracks
そ
in
う
the
なの。
foundation.
僕ってムラムラなの。
Some more cracks in the
まあ
foundation for
リン
them.
によろしく伝えてよ。さっさと思い知ればいいのにな。
Okay.
いすずはさ、ガキの頃たまにこの家に来てたりしたんだ。師匠も面倒見いいからあいつが来ると月、だから気に食わなかったんだよ。
キョウくん、何やら可愛らしいです。
ちょっと待て、ガキの頃の話だからな。はい。で、そういすずは
もうじき年が明けますよ、キョウくん。キョウくんは初詣で何をお願いするご予定ですか？去年はユキくんとキョウくんが仲良く
What
なっ
is
て
this
くだ
year's
さいま
wish?
すようお
I
願
am
いしま
actually
した。
dying to know.
でも今年は呪いを解くことができますよ。
Yeah, that's a good one.
くれのプレゼント。
Oh,
これから
oh man.
変化が訪れますように。
We still have a whole nother episode. I can't cry yet.
あっけなく訪れた終わりと始まり、
Mm.
解放と呪縛。
What? What is that? What is that? Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Wait, I'm stressed now because they looked kind of young. So maybe we're gonna get a KURENO backstory, but the rope breaking? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
くれのくれの、僕はたまに君を悪く言うけど、悪く言ってるって分かってる僕のことを
Oh
分
no.
かってちゃんと分かってくれているよね。
Akito seems like he's scrambling.
ずっと僕のそばに。
Oh, yeah, they were little. Just in that moment alone, it feels like Akito is scrambling a little bit, right? Because in the last episode, you saw Yuki basically say, like, you don't hold power over me anymore because I'm not going to blame other people for my life, right? For the things that are my own faults and my own misguided decisions. Then you had Shigure basically saying, it doesn't always have to be me that fixes the problems when it comes to Akito. Those are two very key people to Akito to have fully pull away, right? Like Shigure hasn't fully pulled away, but Yuki certainly has. And that's a really important person to lose completely because I think Akito just thought that Yuki would return, right? Like everything Akito said to Tohru, to anybody else, indicates that Akito thought Yuki would come back. Despite having been gone, despite having this like innate hatred toward Akito now for everything that happened when Yuki was young, I think now he realizes that that is not going to happen. And now it feels like scrambling to keep Kureno in line and keep Kureno happy or content, I guess.
付き合いで風邪でもひいたらたまったもんじゃねえよ。ちなみに私は一度もひいたことないの。バカは風邪ひかないって本当。
Bro.
ちった落ち込め。
She's crazy because like I feel like she could be so smart. Like the same thing with school. She's like, yeah, I could pass all these classes, I just don't want to. She's just so content living like a mediocre life.
誰かが来たらまして触りでもしたら。
No, you wouldn't have. You're just too comfortable with Haru, you know?
さんでもですか？春は違うけど。
Oh.
なんでお前が春とのことを知ってるん
Oh
だ？
no.
これはいわゆる女の子のものでは。
I mean, that's not completely untrue. Oh no.
いいけど。
今年もよろしく。
こちらこそどうぞ。ゆきくん、額怪我？
ああ、これ大丈夫だよ。
ですが、どうされたのですか？
アキトに
You were hit with a ceramic over the head, but that's
ものだったけど、
whatever.
でもちょっと頑張った
Oh.
でしょ。
He's fully embraced what he needs from her. That is clear.
本田さんに褒めてほしい話があるの。 じゃあ俺
He breathed.
先にしぐれの家に。
Momoji is always worth all the praise.
クレノに DVD プレゼントできたよ。
Oh.
例のごとく気持ちから来るものだが、今回は少し長いな。
ユキ君に反抗されたのがよっぽどショックだったんでしょ。ユキ君に責任持って看病させたら？
バカを言うな。
Bro, why is he the
お前こそ見舞い
worst?
に行かないの。
自分こそクレノを選んだくせに。
選んだわけじゃなく、神様にもお気に入りぐらいできるんだろう。俺たち十二使の中で。
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, two things from that. Shigure is always kind of unpleasant, but that is not the reason why. Like, Akito's reasonings are completely, they don't make sense. That's interesting what Hattori is saying, that basically Akito is not choosing anybody. Akito is simply the god, right? And I think that would imply that there's a separation between the person that inhabits the zodiac spirit and the spirit itself, which I think we've known in a lot of ways, right? Because we saw Yuki, when he was first introduced to Akito, have these mixed feelings of like knowing intuitively that he didn't want to go in that room, but having the spirit also pull him in that room with like this longing to be near Akito. And so I think we knew that they could be separate, even though they're intertwined in a lot of ways, I'm sure. But that would kind of imply that the spirit itself is choosing not based on the person that the spirits are inhabiting, but based on the spirits themselves, and potentially something that's happened in the past, or just a draw to certain members of the zodiac.
クレノに 違和感を。
Okay.
彼はそう、クレノはもしかしたら認めないかい？
Might be what?
怖いから？悲しいから？疎む気持ちがありながら愛着心も拭えないから？絆に。
Okay, I don't know what he's implying Kureno is, but
僕は力もなく、器も小さく、くだらない最低な男なんです。
お前の最も最低なところは、それを自覚していながらみじんも悪いと思ってはいない。
I'm so interested in what Shigure meant by that, because he's questioning if Hattori is sentimentally attached to the bond, which I'm assuming is the curse, because it was in quotations. So is Kureno somebody who could potentially threaten the curse, which is not something that I would have thought of before, because Kureno seems to be the most compliant in terms of not even daring to think what his life would be like outside of Akito. So he's gonna have to watch this whole damn play just to see that part.
ねえクレノ鳥になれるってどんな
Backstory.
気分？楽しい？ワクワクする？いいなあいいなあクレノ僕も
鳥になれたらよかった。
I'm scared he's gonna get caught watching this.
寂しそうで。僕を見捨てないで。
Oh man. Bro, I kind of feel bad for him because it's like, I get why tohru is doing this, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's killing him because there's a reason, obviously, he's not even considering leaving. He called? Oh my god, wait. I'm so concerned. I don't want Shigure to tell Akito about this. I'm so nervous now. Does he know how to break the curse? Is he just trying to get her out of the house? What? He's so scary and suspicious. Okay, so I feel like KURENO knows how to break the curse, right? He's there. Oh, Shigure arranged the meeting? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Please tell me he took the DVD. Oh no.
クレノさんから離れていってしまいました。鳥のもののけつきでいらっしゃいますから。もののけつきの方々はその動物が
Stop. Oh my god. Stop. How did this happen? How long has he... Oh my god. That flashback, they were so young. That is why he doesn't talk to anybody, because his curse has been broken since he was a kid. And she and she's figuring this out because the birds flew away and Akito didn't want him to talk to anybody because he didn't want anyone to know how to break the curse. I'm so happy for him. Wow. So it's like not all at once. No. Oh my god. He can never fly and he can't fly away. And now I'm sad.
秋田さんのそばに今もクレノさんはまだ何から解放されずにいらっしゃるのですか？
Oh my god, no. Why? I like don't understand.
だったらもっと幸せそうに笑えよ。
Oh my god. You are joking. Is that why he stays? Because he's guilty? That is not a good enough reason. Sorry. No. No, Tohru? You better say something.
僕がいいというまで誰も近づかせるな。来たら殺せ。どうして溶けたんだよ。どうして絆なのに。俺にもわからないよ。何？その目。さっきから。いや、僕を見捨てないで。クレノ。
Okay. Does this mean that Yuki's curse is about to be broken? If Akito saw the same thing in Yuki's eyes?
泣かずに済むなら他の十二支のみんなを騙して鳥に疲れたままのふりをしてそれであの子が泣かずに済むなら
同情したの？だってもう呪いは絆はないんだろ？
Oh my
突き放
god.
すべきだったんじゃないか。
泣いているだけなのかもしれないけど突き放せない。誓ったんだ。
Okay. By King? Question mark?
誰よりも弱くて誰よりも脆くてために悲しい。
It's just too much for one episode. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go back to season 1 for whoever commented to keep up the ruse of Akito being a man. Do you know how many times I've had to like correct myself for misgendering Akito because I kept saying she and then be like, oh, it's not, he's a man. You guys, it makes so much more sense now. It makes so much more sense now. So he's in love with her. Is that what the deal is? Like KURENO is in love with Akito? I like don't get it though. Is that what Shigure's deal is then, right? Like, is he also in love with Akito? That's got to be it, right? And like, Shigure really loves Akito. Okay. Cinema. That was cinema, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's too much happening. There's so much happening. So let's talk about the last piece, right? The Akito being a woman piece. I, again, have spent so many editing sessions like trying to not misgender this person. This all makes so much more sense though, because I think just in terms of the way that Akito interacts with the people around her, it just makes a lot more sense. I actually don't think that Yuki knows. Shigure 1000% knows. And if Shigure knows, then Hattori probably also knows, and Hattori is a doctor who has been attending to her for years and years at this point. I also wonder if that nugget of information also just makes it harder for them to walk away. If they see her as a sad little girl who is just lost kind of and needs them, I could see why they would be a little bit more inclined to stick around regardless of the behavior. Shigure, I feel like, is in love with her, which again would like make it even more questionable in terms of the age gap and at what ages they originally met. Because when he was holding her in that flashback a few episodes ago, she did seem quite young compared to him. So I also wonder if Shigure's saltiness has something to do with the fact that he is probably genuinely in love with her, and KURENO, while does seem to love her, it seems like that bond was forged out of desperation versus like true love. And that's why he says that he fell in love with Arisa, and Arisa was the first person that he fell in love with as his own person, not being controlled or run by this curse or have anything to do with the zodiac, right? Like, she was the first person that he truly fell in love with as somebody who was able to think freely in his own thoughts. I am really, really hoping that he does end up with Arisa, or at least talks to her. I will actually kind of be devastated if he sticks around by Akito's side for the sole purpose of guilt. I also think that Shigure, in a way, is trying to give him permission to walk away from Akito. I think it serves Shigure to do that, right? Because I think for Shigure wanting to be with Akito, it seems, I wonder if Shigure's goal to break the curse is so that Akito is also freed, right? Because I think Hattori's statement is quite interesting of like, Akito is not the one that's choosing, it's the god spirit in Akito that is choosing. But if the curse is broken and there are no bonds, then Shigure could be the person by her side regardless. And so I wonder if that's his own selfish reason. It definitely benefits other people on the back end of it. So it makes him a little less like terrible in my eyes, but at the same time, obviously being willing and eager to use people who might get hurt to do that is not great still. I am so interested now in the curse breaking because there's a lot of different elements of this that I think we have kind of been breadcrumbed through the series. And this is the first time we've seen what it looks like for a curse to be broken. Up until now, I was kind of just thinking that the curse being broken is the curse. It's like the gods hold on the zodiac. It does seem now, obviously, that like one Zodiac member's curse could be broken while the others remain intact. I think it obviously could potentially weaken it. But again, like that was kind of like years ago that the curse was broken for KURENO. So I don't know. It's just interesting, I guess. It makes sense why he was, you know, separated from the rest of the Zodiac. They obviously did not want anyone to find out that he was no longer a Zodiac member. I also think it's interesting that he is not a Zodiac member anymore, and he is very much ingrained in the Zodiac as part of this ruse to make the other Zodiac members think that he's still the rooster. But it ties even more parallels into him and Tohru, which were kind of identified early on as like silly things of being kind of scatterbrained and clumsy, but it makes them even more paralleled because again, there's these two people who are just normal people now, and they're so ingrained in the Zodiac and around the other members of the Zodiac. So it is kind of a bummer that he has no information or just like any semblance of an idea of how the curse got broken to begin with, because it doesn't really give Tohru anything to go off of in terms of helping to break the curse for Yuki and Kyo and the rest of the Zodiac members. But it does show her that it's possible, which I think is a real big turning point in the story. It actually is like making me emotional just at the thought of it. When we were initially getting the vibe that maybe his curse is broken and the birds flew away from him and all of that, it kind of made me think that it was recently broken, maybe with the introduction of Arisa and those interactions, that it could have been broken recently. But knowing that it's been so long confuses me, and knowing that we don't really have a reason or any indication of how it happened, it is certainly challenging, but again, it's hopeful nonetheless. I think it's interesting that Akito identified the same look in Yuki's eyes that she saw in KURENO's. Now I have to get used to calling her she, but I think it's interesting that she identified the same look in Yuki's eyes. Obviously, Yuki's curse is not broken that we know of, but it could indicate that he's close. But yeah, I like, what an insane way to end season 2. I actually can't believe it. I did not expect that at all. But thank you so much for watching. If you want to stick around, go ahead and hit subscribe. The uncut version of this reaction will be over on Patreon, so I'll put that link in the description box below if you want to check that out. Like I said, I'll be doing a season 2 recap, just like analyzing some of the main storylines, the characters, and then talking about predictions and upcoming thoughts for season 3. So be on the lookout for that. And I'll see you guys next time as we start season 3 of Fruits Basket. Bye.